Hello, Knife World. My name is Alex, and I am bringing you a desktop style review here of one of my knives. I have been inspired by many years of creators who have been posting longer format videos of some of their collection, and I wanted to bring some of mine and just share my general thoughts, as well as ramble, just to kind of add to the community here. So my first example is from Dalibor Bergman. This is his Draco model. Dalibor is out of Croatia. His books are closed, and I'm sure they have years and years of waiting. He does a lot of great work. He's easy to talk to. I've messaged him on Instagram a few times to talk about his knife. Yeah, getting his stuff is very expensive and very hard to do. I acquired this recently from a Facebook group, and it's one of his older examples. You can tell because of the flathead pivot style, as well as a lot of his work is now integral. So instead of having two scales, it's milled out of one piece of titanium. This is a flat ground blade. It is made out of 3V, as you can see from the pressed in logo there. He also has his maker's mark on the other side. The opening mechanism is primarily this thumb hole, and you can flick it out with your thumb, you can flick it out with your middle finger, or you can just kind of thumb it out. The detent on this is suitable for doing all of those. It's easy to do. You can also use the external blade stops. They kind of look like thumb studs, but as you can see, they stop the blade on the scales there. This knife is using a couple of big standoffs there, and as well as this is a internal, it's the closed position blade stop there, so you can see the blade sits on it, and you can also tell that. And you look at it open, you can see the little wear mark there from where it sits on it. The scales on this have great color to them. They are a sculpted titanium bronze primary with some blue purple spots there. The color on them is nice and deep. It's kind of nice and wear resistant, although I do have a little bit of wear on this knife. You kind of see it right there and a couple of marks by the pivot, but that's okay because I'm going to use it and I'm going to carry it and it's going to get more wear, and that doesn't really bother me. The blade's also kind of got this like dark stone wash finish on it, which also nice for hiding wear. Looks great. It kind of goes with the finish, it's kind of got the, battle hardened finish. I dig it. The clip on this guy also 3D sculpted, and it's kind of an orange peel finish with the lighter bronze here in the middle, and it fades out to the blues and purples, so looks really nice. Some kind of fun things about custom knives is that the blade grinding is ever so slightly crooked. Might be kind of hard to see that, but you can see it's at a slight angle, and the way it grinds is a little bit different. I'm not sure whether this knife runs on washers or bearings or bushings or what the deal is. Kind of a funny thing about it is that the pivot free spins, so like you can orient it in different ways. And I messaged him about it, and that's just how he designed his older knives. So I'm not sure how that works, but knife still locks up great. Centered just fine. The action on this thing like recoils in your hand. Like when it locks, it rocks your hand. It's a nice beefy overbuilt chunky knife. Speaking of size, let's do some size comparisons real quick. I don't have a ton of examples of production knives to show you, but I'll show you what I got. This here is a Benchmade 940. We'll try and line them up about pivot to pivot. The Bergman is a little bit longer in the handle. The blade length is probably pretty close. The height on the Bergman is much, much taller. But again, the thing you'll probably notice most is the size of these things. The Bergman is just a beast of a knife. The blade stock is so much thicker. It's a lot more weight, but the big overbuilt knives, you kind of expect that. It doesn't bother me. I wear pants with belt, and it doesn't matter, but I guess if you're in gym shorts all the time, maybe something like this is not for you. Speaking of how it carries, I I noticed that because the relief cut for the lock bar is on the outside, as it slides into your pants pocket, it can grab the corner of your pants, and sometimes it gets finicky to be coming in and out of the pants there. So I wish the relief cut was on the other side of the scale there, but not a big deal. One other comparison is I have a Microtech DOC. This is a kind of an Anthony Marfione Mick Strider collaboration here, also kind of pivot to pivot. The DOC is maybe a touch longer in the handle, and definitely bigger in the blade there. The height is also about the same compared to these two, but you can see the thickness is just, the Bergman is just so much bigger. It's a beast of a knife. Let's get these productions out of here. So yeah, overall, I am super happy with this being in my collection. It's a great user. You know, I take it if I think I'm gonna have a little more heavy duty cutting involved. You know, my cutting is, I'm not like a carpenter or anything, I'm not like cutting carpet all day. I mean, most of my cutting is opening Amazon packages or other silly stuff, but I'm not afraid to break down boxes with something like this. The blade finish just hides the wear super well, super great. It's super sharp, it's easy to use. I'm super pleased to have it with me. I hope to add many more Dalibors to my collection as it continues to grow. You pretty much have to pick them up on the secondary market though, like I said. But we'll kind of give you one more just quick view of this, and then we will quote while we're still ahead. The jimping on this is super effective. It's not crazy sharp, but it does lock your hand in. You also have this, forward choil to really pull your hand up on. It does have a sharpening choil there, and it is sharp all the way back to that. You can also reverse grip it. The handle doesn't have any hot spots on it, and you could probably have some pretty big hands and still be comfortable with this pretty much any way you hold it. I don't have lanyards on a lot of my knives, as you can see some of them. Back with the DOC I do, but a lot of them I don't. This one I'm probably not planning on putting a lanyard through, but the option's there if you want it. But yeah. He doesn't really make them like this anymore, but if you can find one for a good price, maybe a user, I would highly recommend picking it up while they're available. So there's just something about having like a big tank of a knife in your collection. That's super satisfying. Have a good one, everybody.